Good morning, dear students. In the earlier video, you have learned the terms motion, rest, frame of reference, distance, and displacement. I would like to explain the difference between distance and displacement now. Yes, when we see distance, the unit of distance and the unit of displacement both are same, meters and meters. But distance is a scalar quantity, but displacement is a vector quantity. Yeah, first you should know what is a vector and what is a scalar. Yeah, for a vector we have a specific definition that you will learn in the next chapter. But as of now, in a short, we can define vector like this. A vector is a physical quantity which has magnitude and direction. A vector is a physical quantity which has magnitude and direction. But when it comes to scalar quantity, a scalar quantity is a physical quantity which has only magnitude. That means it doesn't have direction. Yeah, yesterday we have taken an example. Suppose a body is moving from Nizamabad to Basar. This is initial position, this is the final position, and the total path length or distance, the value is 35 kilometers. But when it comes to displacement, in a straight way from initial position to final position, what is the value we have? 25 kilometers. So distance traveled is 35 kilometers, but the displacement of the body is 25 kilometers. So here distance, does it have a particular direction? No. That's why it is called as scalar quantity. But when we see displacement, we have a specific direction, right? So that's why displacement is a vector quantity. And clearly we can say 35 kilometers, that is distance, is greater than displacement, right? So for a given body, in any case, distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. Only in one particular case, distance and displacement both become same. That is, I will tell you that case. Suppose you are standing here. So in your frame of reference, yeah, here we take your frame of reference. Yeah, this side we take x-axis, this side we take y-axis, this side we take z-axis. Of course, we place also a clock. If you want to measure time, you need to have a clock, right? Yes. So this is your frame of reference. Now your friend is standing here. Your friend is standing here. So let's say initial position of your friend is 100 meters from you, and he is moving toward this way. So after some time, he is moving from here to here. The final position of your friend, let's say this is 400 meters. So now your friend is moving from here to here. Now what is the distance traveled by your friend? That is 400 minus 100. So how much? What is the distance traveled or path length? He is moving in a straight line, right? So the value is 300 meters. So what about the displacement? Displacement of your friend, final position minus initial position, that is 400 minus 100. How much do you get? 300. See, in this special case, what's happening? Distance and displacement both are same in straight line. In straight line motion and in the positive direction. So what's happening? Distance and displacement both become same. 300 meters and 300 meters. So in this special case only, what happened? Distance and displacement both are same. But in any other case, distance is always greater than displacement. So here we can write a relationship between distance and displacement. That is, distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. Distance can never be less than displacement. This is very, very important point to remember. Now we define average speed. Average speed is defined as the total path length traveled divided by the total time interval during which the motion has taken place. Yes, as we have taken example, yes, suppose a body is starting from Nizamabad and it is moving and it is reaching Basar. Let's say it is starting at time t1 and it is moving to Basar at time t2. So let's say S is the total path length, that is distance or path length, whatever you call, both are same, distance or path length. Now we define average speed. Average speed, V average is equal to, so total path length, how much? Yes. What is the time taken? t2 minus t1. So initial time is t1 and final time is t2. So t2 minus t1. Or if you want to find average speed between here and here, not from Basar to Nizamabad. Yeah, here you have two small villages. Now you want to find average speed between these two villages. So then what do? Let us call this one as delta S, a small path length, and the time taken from here to here is, let's say, delta T. So here you can write, so delta S by delta T, small distance divided by small time taken. So this ratio is called average speed. Now let us see the unit of average speed. Yes, what is the unit of path length or distance? Meter. What is the unit of time? Seconds. So the unit of speed or average speed, what is the unit? Meter per second. This is the SI unit we have. Of course, we also have non-SI units, that is, we also have kilometer per hour. But which one is the correct unit? SI unit. This is usually we use SI unit on meter per second, but we also use non-SI unit, that is kilometer per hour, and miles per hour also we use, but meter per second is the SI unit. And what about average speed or speed? It's a vector quantity or scalar quantity? It is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. Yes, because why are we saying it is scalar quantity? Does it have any particular direction? No. So you cannot say the particle is moving this direction or this direction in a particular direction, right? So the direction is keep on changing. So that's why, so speed doesn't have a particular direction. It has magnitude, but it doesn't have a particular direction. So that's why speed is or average speed is a scalar quantity. Suppose in 1 hour the vehicle or the body is moving from Nizamabad to Basar, and the distance, let's say, 35 kilometers. What is the value we have? Let's say this is 35 kilometers and the time taken is 1 hour. Then what is the average speed of the body? 35 kilometer by time 35 kilometers divided by 1 hour. So the average speed of the body is 35 kilometer per hour. So this is the way we measure average speed. Now let us take an example to understand average speed. Now let us consider a body which is at position A initially. Initially it is moving from A to B, and the distance between A and B is D1, that is 100 kilometers, and the time taken is 2 hours. So in 2 hours a body is moving from A to B, and next the body is moving from B to C, that is the distance between B and C is D2, that is 200 kilometers, but the time taken is 5 hours. Now we want to find the average speed between A and C. Average speed between A and C. Then how do we find average speed in the whole journey? Average speed is equal to, what do? Total path length. Yeah, remember guys, total path length or distance, both are same, divided by total time taken. So total path length means, so this path length and this path length. So what is the value? D1 plus D2 divided by total time taken. What is the value? T1 plus T2. So D1 is how much is there? 100 kilometers plus D2 200 kilometers. And here we have 2 plus 5. 2 hours and 5 hours. So 100 kilometers plus 200 kilometers. How much is there? 300 kilometers by 7. So 300. You will get the value in hours. You will get the value in kilometer per hour. So 300 kilometers total distance travel. And what is the time taken? 2 plus 5, 7 hours. So 300 by 7. You can simplify it. And you can also convert this value into meter per second. How do you convert this value to meter per second? Yes, here we have 300 kilometer per hour. Yes, 300 by 7 is there. Yeah, 300 by 7. 1 kilometer equal how many meters? 1000 meters. 1 hour equal how many seconds? 60 into 60 minutes and 60 seconds. Yeah, if you simplify this one, 300 by 7, this value will get 5 by 18 meter per second. Yeah, if your value is kilometer per hour, you can convert the value into meter per second like this way. Or simply remember one conversion: 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. That means kilometer equal to 1000 and hour equal to seconds. If you convert into seconds, 60 into 60 seconds. If you simplify it, you will get this one. So using this one, you can convert a value from kilometer per hour to meter per second, or meter per second to kilometer per hour. That means, so 1 meter per second is equal to, what do we do? If you want to convert to kilometer per hour, 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. And let us take one more example to understand this average speed. Yes, now take this example. So in this example, again, a body is starting from A to A and it is moving towards B, and then it is moving from B to C. So when it moves from A to B, it is moving with speed 50 km per hour, and the time taken from A to B is 2 hours. Distance is not given between A and B. And when the body moves from B to C, so it is moving with speed 60 km per hour, and the time taken is 3 hours, and this distance is also not given. Now in this case, we want to find average speed of the vehicle or the body when it moves from A to C. Then what do we do, guys? We need to find the total path length divided by total time taken. So total path length means we need to take this path length plus this path length. Now let us call this path length as D1 and this path length as D2. So how do we calculate? D1 plus D2 divided by, what is the time taken? T1 plus T2. But how do we find D1? This distance. We know speed and time, right? So how do you find V1 into T1? You will get D1. And how do you find this length, this distance? So that is V2 into T2 by T1 plus T2. Now V1, how much is there? 50 into 2 plus V2, 60 into 3 by how much time? 2 plus 3. 5 to is 100 and 60 is 180. So 280 kilometers divided by 5 kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour. If we convert this value, if you want to convert this value to meter per second, what do we do? 280 divided by 5 into 5 by 18 meter per second. Just we simplify it and we'll get the final answer will be in meter per second. Now do you understand here? So when the distances, when this distance and this distance is not given, just we need to multiply speed into time, and speed into time will get distances. Then we need to find the total distance traveled and we need to divide with total time taken. Then we'll get average speed. Yes, now we define average velocity. Average velocity is defined as the change in position or displacement divided by the time interval in which the displacement occurs. Yes, so again we have already taken an example, that is, so a body is starting from Nizamabad and it is moving and finally it is reaching Basar. So now how do we find displacement? So this is the initial point, this is the final point. So we take a straight line like this and we take x-axis like this, and we say this is the initial position x1 and we say the final position x2. Now we define average velocity. So how do you find average velocity? Final position minus initial position. Let's say it is starting at time t1 and it is reaching at time t2. So t2 minus t1. Displacement of the object, that is x2 minus x1 by time taken t2 minus t1. So this is the average velocity in between the whole journey t1 and t2. Suppose if you want to find if you want to find average velocity between a small interval, yes, suppose it is moving from here to here, yes, we can take a small displacement here. Let us call this one as delta x and the time taken is delta t. So in this case, how do we write? A small displacement divided by small time interval. So this is the way we define average velocity. And what is the unit of average velocity here? Here, displacement, what is the unit? Meter, time taken, seconds. So meter per second. This is the SI unit we have. Of course, we also use non-SI unit, that is kilometer per hour or miles per hour. And what about average velocity? It's a scalar quantity, vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Because here you can say, so when suppose this distance is 25 kilometers and this distance is, this is displacement is 25 kilometers and displacement is 25 kilometers and distance traveled is 35 kilometers. Let's say the time taken from here to here is 1 hour. So what do we say here? So the speed of the vehicle or the speed of the body is 35 kilometers per hour, but we don't give any direction. That is the average speed. But when it comes to average velocity, you can give a particular direction. So average velocity is 25 kilometers in 1 hour. So and it is a particular direction. It has a particular direction. So that's why average velocity is a vector velocity or average velocity. It is a vector quantity. It has magnitude, that is 25 kilometers per hour in this case, and it has a specific direction. So that's why average velocity is a vector quantity. Yes, to understand average velocity, let us take an example. A body is starting from A and it is moving towards B, and the distance between A and B is d1, that is 40 kilometers, and the time taken is 2 hours. And now the body is moving from B to C and the distance is 30 kilometers and the time taken is 1 hour. Now in this case, now we want to find average velocity between the points A and C. So average velocity means, how do we find average velocity? So we need to find displacement from A to C. That means we need to move straight line, right? We go like this. Now let us call this one as D, actual displacement D. So now how does it look like? It's a triangle, right? In a triangle, this is hypotenuse. Karnam antam kada manam. Karnam. So if you want to find this length, how do we find using Pythagoras theorem? First let us write D, the total displacement, and the time taken is how much? This is T1. Actually this is T2. So displacement divided by total time taken. Total time taken is how much? T1 plus T2. So but how do you find displacement? D is equal, you can write square root of D1 square plus D2 square divided by time taken, T1 plus T2. Just substitute the values. D1 is how much is there? 40 square plus 30 square divided by time taken, 2 hours plus 1 hour. Just simplify it. You will get this value in kilometer per hour. So later on, how can you convert this value into meter per second? Whatever the value you get, just multiply with 5 by 18. Then the value will be converted to meter per second. So this is the way you need to solve the problem. See here, do you understand? If you want to find, in this case, if you want to find average speed, what do we need to do? Instead of taking D, just we need to take D1 plus D2 to find distance traveled or path length. But what about the displacement? Displacement means the shortest distance between initial point and final point. That means we need to take D. D is in this case, so square root of D1 square plus D2 square. So this is the main difference between average speed and average velocity. Yes, now let us understand the similarities and differences between average speed and average velocity. The unit of average speed and average velocity both are same. Meter per second, this is SI unit, and non-SI unit usually we use kilometer per hour and kilometer per hour. But average speed, it is always a positive quantity. Distance is always positive quantity, we know. So but how are we defining average speed? It is the we divide distance with time taken. So when distance is positive, automatically average speed also becomes positive. Let's say a body is starting from here and finally it is moving here. So the length of the whole path, we always take it as positive, and the time is also positive. So average speed, the total path length S divided by time taken T. So we average speed is equal to, what do we do? S by T. So when S is positive and T is positive, automatically average speed also becomes positive. But when it comes to average velocity, it is either a positive quantity or a negative quantity, like this. Suppose you are here, so in your frame of reference, your friend is here, and he is moving toward this way. So xi initial position, your friend initial position is 100 meters, and finally he is reaching this point. Let's say ti initial time is 0 seconds and final time is 5 seconds. So xf is, let's say, 50 meters. Initial position is 100 meters and final position is 50 meters, and initial time is 0 seconds and final time is 5 seconds. Now what is the displacement? Final minus initial, 50 minus 100. So if you find in this case average velocity, so xf minus xi, x2 minus x1 or xf minus xi, both are same, tf minus ti. So 50 minus 100 by 5 minus 0. So how much do you get? 50 minus 100 minus 50 by minus 5. So minus 10 meter per second. That means if the person moves towards negative x-axis, his average velocity is positive. But if the person moves from here to here, toward this way, in this case we will get positive average velocity. That means average velocity, it can be positive, it can be negative, but when it comes to average speed, it can never be negative. It is always a positive quantity. And average speed, it is a scalar quantity. Why are we calling it a scalar quantity? Because it doesn't have a particular direction. Do we have a particular direction here? No. But here, when it comes to displacement, we have a particular direction. Of course, in this case also we can measure displacement. How? From initial position to final position, draw a straight line. This is the displacement of the person. We have a particular direction. So that's why displacement is a vector quantity. And how are we defining average velocity? Displacement divided by time taken. So when displacement is a vector quantity, so average velocity is also a vector quantity. And for a given body, we have this relation. For a given body, what is the relation between distance and displacement? Distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. In the similar manner, average speed is always greater than or equal to average velocity. In only one particular case, average speed and average velocity become same. The case is when a body moves. Suppose this is your frame of reference. So a person is moving towards positive direction like this. So in this case, what happens is the average speed of the person and average velocity of the person both become same only in one direction. When a person moves towards positive x-axis direction, so in this special case only, average speed and average velocity become same. Other than in any other case, what happens is average speed is always greater than average velocity. So these are the similarities and differences between average speed and average velocity.